Is there like a book of the latest unsolved problems in math, and then that's what nerd geeks should check out of the library first?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's been many. I mean, one of the most famous bodies of unsolved problems in the year 2000, the Clay Institute put out these 7 problems that they offered a $1 million prize for. And so these ones are kind of the celebrities among unsolved problems. They're called like the Clay Millennium Math Problems. They are typically very hard to even describe what the problem is stating. So very classic.
You can't even describe the problem of the problem you're supposed to solve.
Right. You got to solve the problem, but you can't even describe. Nobody can tell you what the problem is. Now, to me, sir,
that's how you keep your $1 million.
Yes. I was going to say that sounds a lot like being married. You know?
But what is the problem even that we're beginning to solve? But there's also these celebrity unsolved problems that are, in some sense, less important, but they're easier to state, and as a result, they're a lot more fun to just engage with for the public.
But there's no prize money for those, right?
Like, not in the explicit sense that there is a particular institute that like put this check behind it, but like absolutely, if you solved any of these problems, you gain a certain fame within the math world. Probably you're doing it as an academic where it really bolsters your career. Like there's plenty, if you want financial rewards, there's like plenty that would come if you could solve one of these problems. But of course, that's not what most people care about.
Are they arise purely within math, or is there some scientific a pumping of what these problems are, or engineering solutions?
Yeah. So I'll give you one that's purely within math, and then some that are more like come from the outside world. And this first one, it's near and dear to me because I remember when I was, I don't know, maybe 11 or so, my dad from across the kitchen, he like pipes over. He's like, "Hey, Grant, you know prime numbers?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, prime numbers, the numbers that you can't divide into 2 smaller pieces. Like 6 equals 2 times 3, but 7 you can't break it up into 2 smaller pieces." He's like, "Yeah. Do you think there's infinitely many of them that are just 2 apart? So like 11 and 13 are primes that are 2 apart, or 29 and 31 are a pair of primes that are 2 apart." And he was asking this because he was reading some news article that mentioned, "Hey, this is an unsolved problem."
His dad asked him this question when he was 11.
Oh, wow. So either you were really smart or you had a really bad dad.
So I was like going thinking, I'm like, oh, like, is this true? And eventually it didn't take too long for him to say like, oh, this was a thing I was reading about in this like science news magazine that like mentioned this is a problem no one in the world knows how to answer. And that was fascinating to me. Like, here's a question you can ask. Like, you teach kids about prime numbers. Maybe not everyone remembers them when they grow older, but like it's a common topic. All you're asking is, hey, are there infinitely many that are 2 apart? Do they ever stop coming spaced out by 2? And you know that primes get a little sparser.